Hello everyone, welcome. And for this morning I'd like to begin with parts of a poem by Walt Whitman. Wonderful poem that has a lot of, speaks I think in many ways parts of it to our practice. The song is called Song of the Open Road. And the part that I'll read to introduce our sitting is, he writes, I inhale draughts of space. The east and the west are mine. The north and the south are mine. I am larger, better than I thought. I did not know I held so much goodness. All seems beautiful to me. So to inhale space, all around us is, in a sense, infinite space. And to bring that into ourselves as we sit, and as we exhale, to let it all expand outwards to fill all of space. Awareness, spacious awareness inside, spacious awareness outside. He writes just before in this long poem about loosening up all that holds him, all the ways that we're held or cling or crave. Let it loosen. And then he talks about space. And we'll see later that this is in the context of also talking about listening to others, listening well, letting go. So there's no holding on to definitions and constructions and ways in which we put boundaries and lines around ourselves and our life. And then to discover that we're better than we thought. We hold so much goodness and everything is beautiful. So to assume a meditation posture, and maybe you can adjust your posture so it's a posture that gives you some access, or might approximate giving you access to your own goodness and to your beauty, to the beauty all around. And in caring for your posture, your body, to gently close your eyes and feel this body as if you've never felt it before, as if it's the very first time that you are sensing more fully, sensing and caring for the body. And one expression of caring is to relax, to soften the body, the tensions of the body. Softening around any tension that doesn't want to relax. It's okay to be tense if it's difficult to let it go. Being okay, sitting here with it, feeling your body, maybe feeling the global body, in whatever way that's easy. Breathing in space as you inhale. In a sense, as we inhale, the chest, rib cage, lungs expand. And in a sense, there's more space within that's created. And as we inhale and the chest expands, belly expands, we expand into the space around us. And as you exhale, perhaps relaxing into the space that's around you. A releasing of fixed ideas of yourself, of your body. Loosening up the line between you and the space around you. The line between your thoughts and the space around your thoughts. As you exhale, softening the thinking mind, relaxing. We often don't know how much goodness is within us because we're telling ourselves stories and ideas of the opposite. But to relax those stories, those ideas, sitting here gently, breathing in space, relaxing into space. Trusting for these few minutes that you are better than you ever could have imagined. That there's more goodness within than you ever could have known. And as you breathe out, here and now, maybe all things can be beautiful. Not least because we stop the stories and ideas that they are otherwise. letting go. Letting go of the chatter of thinking, judging, wanting. Perhaps so you can listen deeply within. When we let go of trying to be good, but listen with a quiet mind, you might discover there's more goodness within than you ever could have imagined. Let go and listen deeply. Tenderly. To listen well is to know how to quiet the voices inside, the ideas, the desires that interfere with an open listening. Maybe a listening from the heart. A listening that's not trying to control things, fix things. A listening that where we listen to our own heart, to our own depths, quietly and non-judgmentally. And then to listen to others, not through the filter of our desires or our fears, our resentments and annoyances, but to listen from the quiet heart. And if we listen from the heart, we might be able to listen to the hearts of others, to listen to what's deeper within them than their words they say, the behaviors they do. To listen in such a way that we are connected with each other's hearts. And from there, to offer to the world our goodwill, our well-wishing. May it be that what we learn through meditation serves us to live a life that promotes the welfare and happiness of everyone, ourself included. May all beings be happy. May all beings be safe. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be free. Thank you. So, good morning, hello, on this Wednesday morning, and the third talk on wise listening. I could just as well maybe call it uh, um, caring, listening with care, but wise listening. And there's a story in the Ramayana, one of the great classics of Indian literature and religion, of Rama going for a walk, walking in the forest. And Rama hears a very faint voice, and he can't quite hear what it is, but he's listening and getting very quiet, very still. Maybe he stands still so he can listen to that. What's this voice he hears in the forest? And he still can't quite hear what it's saying, but after a while he gets some sense of from where the voice is coming. And it guides him to walk in that direction. He kind of follows the voice, listens, and as he gets closer to the source, he begins hearing what the voice is saying. And it's saying his name, Rama, Rama. And so he listens and he goes closer and closer. Finally he comes to this very large boulder. And it seems like the voice is coming from inside the boulder. And so then he gently puts his hand and touches the boulder, at which point the boulder kind of dissolves, and there's a woman emerges out of that boulder, and they greet, and they somehow, I don't know how the story goes beyond that, but in a sense, he meets himself, that part of himself which is petrified, that's locked in, that's frozen, that's hidden and lost to him, even himself. And so this idea that there is some, if you listen, if we know how to listen, or the equivalent is to sense or to feel, where the listening is not through the filter of our desires, filters of our ideas of self and the conceits we have about how terrible we are, or how wonderful we are, or how, that define and limit ourselves, that there's no hindrances in the listening, there's no aversion, no agitation, and no spinning of stories, and bringing along the luggage of the past, the memories, but just to learn how to listen in a peaceful, quiet, deep way. Not even listening with the ears, but listening with the whole body, or listening with the heart. And there is within us something that is calling us, maybe not with our name, but in the language of the Buddha, it's the Dharma that's coming here, come here, come here. Invites us to come, invites us to investigate. And so come and see, come and see. So if you listen to this kind of sometimes very subtle voice that's within, this message from within, and then follow it, get closer to it, sense it, until we can do the equivalent of putting our hands gently on it. The image that I like is the idea of cupping our hands together and coming underneath and just holding what's there with support. Sometimes what's deep inside is fear. Sometimes it's sorrow. Sometimes it's hurt. Just to hold it gently. And then whatever is petrified, whatever is frozen, whatever is locked within, has a chance to dissolve. And so here we have a story of listening deeply, listening and hearing, and going along with what we're hearing. And so the role of listening, some people will say that listening requires some degree of letting go of control. if we don't like what we're seeing, we can close our eyes. We can look away. It's, in a sense, maybe we can't do the same thing with the ears. We can't, you can put, I guess you can put earplugs in, cover your ears, but the ears are just more kind of open to what's there. And so you don't control what you hear. There's a letting go of control of a certain type. And that's a part of the challenge of really good listening, is the balance between the control to listen and the letting go of control of what we're hearing. And if we're listening to ourselves in a deep way, the same kind of balance of having enough control of ourselves to be able to really listen, but in such a way that we're letting go of control of what we're listening to, that we allow what we're listening, sensing, feeling, to show itself. And so this is where this wonderful poem by Walt Whitman, much of it is wonderful, I think, and called Song of the Open Road. And so here in the kind of the middle of the long poem, I'll start from this sentence. The sentence is, "From this hour, freedom," with an exclamation mark. So, "From this hour, freedom. From this hour I ordain myself loosened of limits and imaginary lines, listening to others and considering well what they say, pausing, searching, receiving, contemplating, gently, but with undeniable will, divesting myself of the holds that would hold me. I inhale draughts of space. The east and the west are mine, and the north and south are mine. I am larger, better than I thought. I did not know I held so much goodness. All seems beautiful to me." So here we have this wonderful combination of letting go of, here he's called it holds, attachments, letting go of control even. At the same time, a very clear sense of being in charge of oneself. First, he makes this very strong statement that it's kind of like a promise or assertion that from now on, I'm going to be free. And how he can say that with confidence, because you can't just make yourself free, of course. But I think that he's seen something inside of himself, some capacity not to hold himself, not to hold himself in bondage, not to keep himself from his own inner freedom. And I ordained myself loosened of limits and imaginary lines. This is right out of Buddhism, that we limit ourselves with our thoughts, our constructs, the imaginary lines, definitions that we use to understand ourselves, the world around us, and people. And then he's going to listen to others. So he's not saying the result of his freedom is he's going to do whatever he wants, overriding people and not caring for them. The first thing he says he's going to do with his freedom is to listen to others and considering well what they say. I hear this to be wishing to be giving them the benefit of the doubt and listen well. And what listening well means for me is you want to listen below their words. You want to listen even below the surface emotions that's driving their words. Listen to either their goodness that's deep inside. Listen to the pain which is deep inside. Listen to that potential for goodness and freedom from pain that's deep inside everyone. Listen to that. so that in the listening, you may be beginning to awaken that possibility of freedom in them. So first thing with this freedom, he says, is that he's going to listen to others, pausing, searching, receiving, contemplating, and divesting himself of what holds that would hold me. And then, after listening, then he talks about just infinite space, becoming everything, becoming large and spacious. When he's let go of what holds him, his attachments, then there's a feeling of expansiveness. And I am larger and better than I thought. I did not know I held so much goodness. Imagine listening to others where you know that they are better than they've ever thought. So the third guideline for speaking that Buddha gave is speak in a way that goes right to the heart, touches other people's hearts, touches your own heart. So with listening, listen from the heart. Listen in a way that touches the hearts of others. Listen in a way that you have let go of your attachments, so you can be attuned to the possibility, potential for freedom and peace and happiness that others have. Because if we're only reacting to the surface, to their anger, to their bitterness, to their complaints, to their fears, their anxieties, we don't want to deny those and not see it and not understand that. But if we only listen to that, we kind of stay at that level and might even reinforce that's all that counts, that's all there is. But if you can listen to what's deeper, listen in a way that touches their hearts, listen from a way that you're listening from your heart, from your capacity for a deeper tenderness, a deeper love, a deeper care. And maybe then you can begin doing the work that Walt Whitman says, pausing, searching, receiving, contemplating, that maybe allows you to be attuned to how they are larger, better than you think, but also they're better than they ever thought. That maybe you discover that they hold a lot of goodness, but maybe your gift is you see that they hold more goodness than they ever realized. And you appreciate that, you appreciate them. That's what allows this affirming of the goodness of others, is recognizing it's amazing what that makes room for and allows to happen and come forth. That would not come forth if we remain in our reactivity to them or in our trying to control them or fix them. So to listen well, to listen to what calls you in the forest, deep inside, and to listen to what's deep inside in the forest of others. May we all listen to each other well, and in that listening, bring forth the best in all of us. Thank you.